As the Gambia nears its 56th independence anniversary, GRTS, in observance of this important event in the nation's calendar, is proud to inform its partners and prospective clients that there is a massive discount on its regular tariff. Yes, buy a minimum of 10 slots of television or radio commercial or airtime and enjoy a massive discount of 25%. Yes, 25%. Enjoy this whopping discount commencing February 1st to February 28, 2021. Rush now to book a spot on your national television to reach wide and diverse audiences. For more information, call 437-8775 or 437-214.
Broadcasting for viewers in the Gambia and around the world. This is GRTS News at 2000 hours. In the headlines, President Adama Barrow presides over the swearing-in ceremony of senior government officials. Grand audience to Chinese experts fighting against COVID-19 in the Gambia. The under-20 national football team receives a check for $2 million presented by President Barrow during a courtesy call at the State House ahead of the under-20 African Cup of Nations finals in Mauritania. The Vice President joins the virtual launching of the International World Health Organization on the Neglected Tropical Diseases Roadmap 2021-2030. Plus, the National Assembly Select Committee on Trade and Regional Integration engages import traders on means of addressing price hiking of basic commodities in the country. In other news, Ghana bids farewell to its longest-serving leader, former President J.J. Rawlings, at a state funeral nearly 3 months after he died on November 12, 2020 at the age of 73. And Uganda launches COVID-19 herbal treatment trial courtesy of local Ugandan scientists. Well, these and much more coming ahead in this edition of the news. With me, Isoto Keita, and thanks for joining us. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. In a flurry of engagements at the State House, the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, presided over the official swearing-in ceremony of senior government officials and later received the Chinese epidemic control experts who have almost come to the end of their deployment in the Gambia. The team is in the country at the request of the Gambia government to help in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic in the Gambia. As we hear in this report by Mamadou Diallo, the Chinese government, through its mission, also presented $10 million worth of medical equipment to the Gambia's health sector.
The permanent secretary of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Abdoulaye Diallo, was the first to be sworn in at the ceremony at State House.
I, Abdoulaye Diallo, having been appointed as permanent secretary, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of the Gambia according to law. So help me God.
Hussein Thomas, the Solicitor General and Legal Secretary, also took the 3 oaths of office, allegiance, and secrecy. Gani Toure, a one-time governor of the Central River region, was equally sworn in as a member of the Public Service Commission. Speaking on behalf of his colleagues, Permanent Secretary Jallo expressed gratitude to the President for the trust and confidence in assigning them what he called important responsibilities in the civil service. The new Permanent Secretary gave a positive assessment of the future of the national economy after it was hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic.
We expect that the economy will grow in 2021 by 6 percentage points. And from 2022 to 2025, our expectation is that on average, it will grow by 6.5%. So inflation has been expected to be likely around 5 to 6%.
The President, His Excellency Adam Barrow, congratulated the officials, describing them as highly experienced and seasoned. He expressed confidence that they will add value to the civil service and enhance his ongoing reforms.
We have no doubt these are senior citizens who are seasoned and have experience. And I think their appointments will be welcomed by the general public, because we have no doubt that they can add value to those institutions. The main focus of this government and our direction and the way we see things is to go into reforms of the institution. We believe that if we have strong institutions in this country, it will make a huge difference for us.
The President also received influence. The Chinese epidemic control experts who were deployed to the Gambia to support efforts in curbing the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. They were led by the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, His Excellency Ma Jian. He praised the Gambia's response to the pandemic, which he added led to its effective control. According to the Chinese diplomat, the team, which comprises prominent medical professionals, worked with their Gambian counterparts to safeguard public health safety.
Chinese government dispatched the epidemic control experts team to the Gambia to support the Gambia, consolidate the achievements in curbing the COVID-19 spreading, and also provide assistance in further strengthening the Gambia's capability of safeguarding public health security.
The head of the team, Wu Xiaomu, who is an expert on intensive care medicine, described the COVID-19 situation in the Gambia as relatively stable, detailing the work of the team in treating patients, training Gambian health workers, and conducting research. The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmad Samade, noted that the Gambia's health system, like other countries around the world, was stretched to the limits, but commended President Barrow for the leadership to ensure a quick and effective response.
His Excellency set up a COVID-19 ministerial subcommittee that met regularly to discuss COVID-19 issues based on the technical guidance from the technicians at the Ministry of Health. Based on these, strategic decisions were taken to give the direction of the COVID-19 medical response, equally the socio-economic response for COVID-19.
The President, His Excellency Adam Barrow, thanked the government of the People's Republic of China for its continued support to the Gambia, particularly in enhancing its response to the pandemic.
We are not surprised that since we made this request, you responded quickly and positively to come and intervene as far as COVID-19 is concerned. Your intervention has made a big difference for us. You have sent us a strong team, a team of specialists to come and help Gambia.
He further commended the People's Republic of China for fulfilling all the promises made to the Gambia, but appealed to their government through its ambassador to continue supporting the health sector. The Gambian leader also praised the health minister for providing the leadership to enable the country face the serious challenges posed by the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. The President later presided over the handing over of medical items worth over $10 million from the government of the People's Republic of China. The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmad Samate, and Ambassador Ma Jian-chun signed the handing over documents for the items, which are expected to consolidate the Gambia's efforts in the fight against the coronavirus, which has recently made a comeback. Mamadou Jallow, GRTS News.
Meanwhile, the President, Adama Barrow, has presented a check for $2 million to the under-20 national football team who called on him at the State House. The team is currently preparing for the under-20 African Cup of Nations finals in Mauritania after winning the coveted West African Football Union Zone 2 tournament last year in Dakar, Senegal. Well, that report by Modou Diallo will air later in the news. Meanwhile, the Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Touré, has joined the International World Health Organization and partners in a virtual forum to launch the Neglected Tropical Diseases Roadmap 2021-2030. The forum seeks to guide participants with the aim of attaining the Sustainable Development Goals. The report by Fat Janembai will also air later in the news. Meanwhile, the National Assembly Select Committee on Trade, NEPAD, and regional integration had an interface with import traders to look at means to addressing the price hiking of essential commodities. Farmer Abaji was at the legislative chambers in Banjul and he now reports.
The price of essential commodities continues to be a cause for concern, particularly for low-income earners who face the brunt of hiking price tags. This long-standing challenge has inspired this roundtable discussion between stakeholders to map out the way forward. The debate on increasing market prices has drawn in the National Assembly Select Committee on Trade, which sat down with importers of essential commodities to discuss factors for the unprecedented price hiking.
We went to the markets and verified ourselves that we discover again the fact is the prices are on the rise. So from there we engaged the stakeholders, the Ministry of Trade and the agencies. They came here, we asked them and they gave us some data regarding prices in the market. So then from there now we said, since we have heard from them, but there are other sectors that are also in the chain, that is the importers. So that's why today we wrote to the importers to invite them for a meeting in the assembly to hear from them what factors are responsible for the price hike in the market.
We all into promotion of agriculture. We know agriculture is the backbone of this country, and if investors like you are the main players in the market are thinking in the line of production, that should be a very welcome move. And we would like to hear from you what you think the government can do to support these initiatives.
Importers say the challenge is big in many areas, including the high cost of importation.
We as traders, as importers of rice, we are facing problems at the port for vessels to come in and discharge the goods. So these vessels, when they're staying at anchorage for 2 weeks or 1 week, waiting for space for vessels to enter to discharge, suppliers, owners of the vessels, they're charging demurrage. So this is in addition, this demurrage is increasing the cost on us. So we need our vessels to have priority, because at the end, this cost of demurrages, which we are paying to the ship owners, we have to add it to the cost, which is causing the price to be high.
The National Assembly Select Committee on Trade is set to engage the Ministry of Trade on the outcomes of their fact-finding mission before making recommendations to address the current crisis. Farmer Abaji, GRTS News.
Continuing its scrutiny of public enterprises as part of its mandate, the PEC Committee of the National Assembly on Thursday invited the Public Utility and Regulatory Authority to the Assembly to submit their activity and financial report for the year ended 2019. The utility body did not submit the reports to the committee due to some lapses. They were asked to make a comeback to the Assembly on the 3rd of February for their submissions. Uminjai was following proceedings and she now tells us more. I guess the report by Uminjai will air later in the news. Now, the National Validation Workshop on the Waste Bill 2021 by the National Environment Agency was on Wednesday, held at the Baobab Conference Hall in Kololi. The program, which brought together officials from the National Environment Agency and other stakeholders. Khadija Juara has more.
The validation of the Waste Bill 2021 brought together stakeholders in the environment and climate matters. Speaking at the ceremony, the Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Lamin B. Diba, outlined the importance of the bill meant to regulate waste management. Bill, according to the Environment Minister, also seeks to provide legal framework for area councils to provide critical role in managing waste through the collection and contracting of waste management in the country.
This bill is intended to regulate waste management, be it plans, programs for waste management, rights and obligations of the legal entities and individuals related to waste management. The control, surveillance, and movement of waste within our territorial waters is also very significant. I am glad that this bill is capturing all this.
Minister Diba further advised participants to give consideration and technical input that will serve as a legal baseline for waste management in the Gambia.
You as key stakeholders, Mr. Chairman, you are aware that the National Environment Agency and the Ministry have embarked on this process, which we believe will identify the best solution for solid waste management for the Gambia.
The Executive Director, Udu Trawale, urged authorities concerned to work on the bill carefully in a bid to help the government and its stakeholders identify and implement solutions that are needed to fix some of the challenges facing the Gambia's waste management sector. The validation of the Waste Bill 2021 comprises mainly technical experts and stakeholders in the business of waste management in the country. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Khadija Tujuara.
Well, the Association of Non-Governmental Organizations on Thursday wrapped up a 3-day capacity building on policy analysis, budgeting, and gender for civil society organizations, lady councillors, and ward councillors in the Banjul City Council held at the Tango Conference Hall. The training, as we hear in this report by Aissatou Jata Gassama, is a project funded by Limited Nation Democratic Fund and Tango Democracy Project for NGOs and CSOs. The project, which started in March 2019 and supposed to end in February 2021, seeks to strengthen human rights and good governance in the Gambia.
The need for enhanced local governance capacity has inspired a new effort to train councillors and local authorities, spearheading community development across the country in policy analysis, budgeting and gender. The latest program initiated by Tango, the Association of Non-Governmental Organizations, specially targets civil society participants and lady councillors. Participants say the program is necessary to enhance the advocacy capacity of civil society organization members and local authorities to effectively participate in public policy processes.
A lot of people fail to understand that politics and policy go together. So we were meant to understand that these things, one cannot go without the other. And then the budgeting scheme, how to go about it, the types of budgeting and all. As a youth rep from the Banjul community, I will make a very good use of this because I'll go back to my community and then deliver what I was taught.
Going through the process of learning. Knowing, having your capacity to learn it is very important, I guess. So it was very useful and important.
Participants Alice Seka and Abdullah Bosgay both described the training as fruitful and promised to disseminate and implement lessons learned into good practice.
All that we yearn for, all that we look forward to is really given to us in this training. It has broadened my knowledge on how to formulate policies, and come up with budget proposals when we're talking of projects. So I'm really grateful that what I've known before, someone else has come and given me more knowledge on how to implement it in the future.
I've seen that when we budget, at times we do have deposit that at times we don't know where to put it. But at least with the 3 days, it has helped us, and it has helped my colleagues as well to learn a lot in budgeting and also in policy. So in policy, as long as I'm a policy maker, they have teach me a lot in policy, and really I'm grateful to them.
Tango's program officer Alhaji S. said the project, which is a nationwide initiative aimed at boosting the knowledge and skills of civil society organizations.
How do we mainstream gender into the national budget? This is very important because madam, you will see a woman and a man in KMC, DCC. What he or she needs is far different from a woman and a man in UR and CR. So how do they budget? And the budget is gender sensitive. This is what we are all advocating for.
Training resource person Susanya is confident about delivering expected outcomes, highlighting participants' understanding and their contribution in the program.
We expect that the civil societies who are definitely present in this particular workshop will definitely filter it down to the grassroots communities. The multiplier effect is what we are looking for, so that at least others who don't have the opportunity to be here today may be able to learn from those participants who are able to be here today.
This project is a moving scheme to enhance effective participation of local authorities and civil society organizations in the civic and democratic process building expertise to combat corruption and promote awareness, ensuring the efficient delivery of public services. Aissatou Jata Gassama, GRTS.
The communities of Jara Bureng, Jangirai, Barakunda and Kwirina Sansankono received modern beekeeping materials from the officials of the large-scale ecosystem-based adaptation project. Suma Jadama has the details.
Jara Bureng, Jangirai, Barakunda and Kwirina Sansankono are the latest communities to receive beekeeping materials from EVA project. Bala Musa Kijera is EBA's regional coordinator in the Lower River region.
During this protocol development that we engage the community members themselves, who know their community very well. They also know their environment. They also know the natural resources available and how these things are degrading. And it is based on their knowledge that they assist us to identify the most suitable options to address the degrading nature of their environment.
Beekeeping is expected to provide sustainable employment creation and restoration of functional ecosystems in the area.
So this is how beekeeping, amongst others, have been identified. Not only identification, but also during the protocol development exercise. There is a chance given to them to prioritize the various options they identify, and based on their prioritization process, that is how the beekeeping comes out as one of the most singular activities needed by the communities themselves.
The knowledge and visibility officer of the Climate Resilience Project, Sambujan Damva, stressed the importance of site selection for beehives.
Site identification probably is the foundation. This is where everything starts. When you get it wrong, you get everything wrong. That is why, as the saying goes, first things first. You've got to identify an appropriate site, really, that will be able to house the hives and ensure the hives are also colonized. And by that we mean the hives will be able to produce the honey that you intend to produce as part of the beekeeping program.
According to Damva, the activities of beekeepers will be guided by officials of Beekeepers Gambia organization.
Now, some of the key areas that you look out for as a criterion for identification of the appropriate sites includes, for example, like water. Bees need water. You also need flowering plants. You need protection, of course, absolutely. And we know in this country, fire outbreaks almost constitute the biggest threat. I've seen incidents where hives have been completely demolished by fire. So in terms of site identification, you try to look at the challenges that could potentially be posed by external stressors.
Apiculturists describe bees as the major pollinators which support the growth of plants. Suma W. Jadama reporting for GRTS.
Child Fund the Gambia on Thursday presented bicycles to partners for onward distribution to school children at a handing over ceremony held at its main office in Kanifing. The initiative, as Janke Ture reports, seeks to reduce tracking of children to their various centers of learning. Child Fund Gambia is a non-governmental organization engaged in child welfare amongst others. The organization has presented 1,000 bicycles to their local implementing partners for onward delivery to school children who are the target beneficiaries. Officials of the organization highlighted the significance of the project. Key among them is to help ease the burden on transport costs faced by parents.
We are all aware of the shock that hit the globe during the past year. When the coronavirus pandemic emerged, its effects devastated lives and have had severe consequences on the children's education in the form of school closures and families struggling to meet financial obligations for their children attending school. We therefore hope that these bicycles will help wipe off the transport cost burden that some parents struggle to live with daily.
Dream Bikes project was launched in 2019, where Child Fund Gambia expressed a commitment to provide 10,000 bicycles to needy school children. Farmer Dabo is the director of programs and sponsorship.
We committed ourselves to raise 10,000 bikes for 10,000 vulnerable children in the Gambia. 3 years down the line, we're able to raise 3,000 bicycles so far. But as you can see, every year we make some improvements. The first year, we only supply bikes. But when we send them to the field, we realize that children who are riding these bikes need some form of protection. The next year, we provided them with vests and then helmets. Now, this finally we realized that children need some form of bags to be able to carry their materials as they go to school.
Ami Kolembai, a board member of the organization and principal education officer Mopsi Kimujalo, respectively described the gesture as timely, noting that the project is one of many interventions that address the socio-economic challenges of the vulnerable. Kolembai urged the beneficiaries to make best use of the items.
To the children, I say, make sure that you use these bikes effectively, because we are all talking about access. But in this era of COVID-19, I think the health aspect is very, very important. And looking at the bikes, they are the safest means of transportation, because we are talking about social distance.
They have been supporting the ministry in a variety of ways. In fact, at a point in time, they supplied the ministry the following: thumbsuits, books, and PPEs.
Buba Jata of Dirua Federation, as an implementing partner, thanked the Child Fund for registering another milestone towards empowering children, while citing the project as timely.
We are very grateful to receive another set of bicycles, because from our assessments, the bicycles we previously received, we gave it to children who live in far communities.
The bicycles and other accessories, according to officials, will go a long way to address transport challenges for children living in hard-to-reach communities who trek long distance to reach their schools. Janke Ture, GRTS News. Well, we go back to the earlier mentioned story where the PEC Committee of the National Assembly on Thursday invited the Public Utility and Regulatory Authority to the Assembly to submit their activity and financial report for the year ended 2019. The utility body did not submit the reports to the committee due to some lapses. They were asked to make a comeback to the National Assembly on the 3rd of February for the submission. Ominjai was following proceedings and she now tells us more.
The National Assembly Public Enterprise Committee continues the scrutiny of public agencies with a direct face-off with officials of the Public Utilities and Regulatory Authority. Lawmakers launched proceedings with queries as to why the institution's activity report and financial statement for the year 2019 was not submitted, and the reason for not showing up at the Assembly on Wednesday. As per PEC committee summons, in response, the Director General of PURA informed the committee that the failure was as a result of some serious management lapses which they are working hard to address before appearing at the Assembly.
The usual procedure is the submission of the report, the scheduling of the review exercise, which starts with the presentation of the report, and then what follows is consideration of the report before adoption with recommendations and observations. Maybe you can combine the two so that we can get an explanation for the failure to submit the report.
We will be able to submit, all these documents by early next week. They are with the printer. So, like I said, due to some internal failures, which we will definitely take care of, as soon as possible.
The board chair promised to submit the late report by next week as bureau officials struggle to advance reasons for not showing up to the Assembly.
So this is a major failure, internal failure on our part. So this is why we don't want to spend, much time on it. But like I said, we can reassure you that the documents will be submitted early next week. The reason we did not come yesterday was not deliberate, but due to the failures, definitely we thought that we were supposed to appear this afternoon instead of yesterday afternoon.
PURA has been very diligent in making submissions on time to this honorable committee. But for some reason, and I underline, and for some tardiness on the side of management, and also for lack of good communications, things have not been done as expected.
Delivering a strongly worded caution urging PURA to be more steadfast in their operations, especially when it comes to meeting deadlines. The chairman of the PEC committee advised officials to prioritize oversight functions similar to the duties of the Public Enterprise Committee.
The benchmark is noted that is next week. The report will be ready, that they're being printed, and the management did not waver in giving a concrete time frame for the completion of the current work, and members did agree that it is anticipated that next week, meaning what day concretely, so that we take note of it, PURA will submit.
After thorough consultations among committee members, a deferral motion was moved to allow the utility body to submit its reports on February 3, 2021. Ominjai, GRTS.
The Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Touré, has joined the International World Health Organization and partners in a virtual forum to launch the Neglected Tropical Diseases Roadmap 2021-2030. The forum seeks to guide participants with the aim of attaining the Sustainable Development Goals. Fatou Janembai reports.
The United Nations World Health Organization and governments across the globe have launched the World Neglected Tropical Disease Project. The idea is to chart a future on how this disease could be controlled for healthier society. Vice President Dr. Aissatou Toure represented the Gambia in the virtual ceremony, which took place on Thursday.
1.7 billion people affected is a truly significant proportion of our planet that deserve our unwavering support and attention. Women and girls bear the biggest impact of these diseases. In the Gambia, women and girls constitute over 50% of the farming community. The impact of NTDs on these populations cannot be overstated. Their lives and livelihoods have been disproportionately affected by NTDs, and this has affected their productive and reproductive lives. I am personally passionate about improving the lives of women and girls worldwide, and combating neglected tropical diseases is one of the most practical things that we can do to improve the lives of women and girls.
Unfortunately, Gambia is one of the countries which falls under the tropical zone and could be a victim of the neglected tropical diseases, which includes tuberculosis, malaria, HIV/AIDS, and trachoma. Malaria, tuberculosis, and trachoma, as referred to by the World Health Organization, as neglected tropical diseases. Vice President Dr. Aissatou Toure said the Gambia has achieved milestones in trying to contain the diseases.
The Gambia has demonstrated tremendous commitment towards the control and elimination of NTDs. In 2020, the Gambia submitted the dossier to WHO requesting validation of the elimination of trachoma as a public health problem. We hope to join the growing list of countries that have eliminated this disease, which is a leading cause of blindness worldwide, and to contribute to WHO's new roadmap target of 100 countries achieving elimination of at least one NTD.
Ending the neglect to attain the Sustainable Development Goals, a roadmap for neglected tropical diseases 2021 to 2030, is a high-level strategic document and advocacy tool aimed at strengthening programmatic response to neglected tropical diseases through shared goals and disease-specific targets backed by smarter investments through stronger accountability, intensified cross-cutting approaches, and a change in operating model and culture. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Fatou Janembai.
Well, a three-day training on land administration, conflict resolution and natural resources is underway in Mansakonko Lower River region. The forum, organized by the Ministry of Lands and Regional Government, targets local authorities, area councils, physical planning officers and key stakeholders in land management in the Lower River and North Bank regions. The forum is supported by FAO and UNDP through the UN Peacebuilding Fund.
The current environment surrounding land resources in the country shows increasing battle for land ownership both for residential and agricultural purposes. This development has led to several misunderstandings among communities, some of which are settled at court level. To help minimize these disputes and ensure fair solutions to land-related problems, the Ministry of Lands and Regional Government organized the forum to sensitize key stakeholders in land administration and dispute resolution. The forum, according to the Deputy Permanent Secretary Technical at the Ministry of Lands and Regional Government, Musa Baji, is crucial considering the continuous rise in land demand.
The ministry acknowledged, a significant gap in, people's understanding of laws relating to land in this country, more so the decision makers. And you can bear with me that there has been a significant, proliferation of land-related disputes in this country, and most of it, can be related to people, not knowing what their rights are in terms of land administration. So we felt that there is a need to sensitize the people, but we decided to start with the decision makers.
Records shows land disputes are among the most common cases presided over by regional and district authorities in the country. The governor of Lower River Region, John Manjang, said such trainings will enable land administrators ensure a uniform approach to solving land-related problems.
Land administrated matters are one of the most important
pillars in our administrative management issues. Land and its related resources are key. Most of the disputes that we handle, most of the challenges that we have are all related to this land issue. So having this opportunity to discuss it, headed by technical experts, I think it's a welcome moment.
The chief of Oponyomi, Momodu Chati Cham, and the chief of Kiang Central, Alhaji Demba Sanyang, both thanked the organizers of the initiative, adding that it will enhance their work as heads of district tribunals.
I know it is very important because it's not something very new to us. It's just we are trying to adjust ourselves. That's the way I see it. My advice would be, as district chiefs and these authorities, whenever there is a problem, let's see at our level and see what we can do and make sure that things are treated fairly.
Approaching the ADRS is very important, because that's what our people were depending on before the law comes. We settle matters within ourselves. And it doesn't take time also. Within a couple of days, your problem is solved. Otherwise, it will take you ages before you have your judgment.
The increase in land dispute cases, according to the officials of the Ministry of Lands, is mainly as a result of population growth, which leads to increase in land demand for residential and food production. They, however, called on people to use alternative dispute resolution methods in case of any dispute, as land resources are static while population growth increases. Alajimbai, GRTS News.
Well, with that, we take a break. The news returns in a moment. Do stay.
Mid-Sour and Tracy, from the top 8 finalists of the BL Star Sierra Leone. Their lives changed from day one. New original songs. Be famous and successful. Be a star in the Gambia.
On the biggest stage right now in Sierra Leone.
Being a part of BL Star is going a step further in chasing my dreams and my career as an artist.
All you have to do is record a video of you singing your favorite song, not more than 2 minutes long. Send the video by WhatsApp to the following number, 2299944, using an AFSL number. State your name and where you're from. Be a winner of a fully recorded album and $500,000. AfriSoul Be a Star. Your road to success.
Are you looking for a competent, trustworthy, and Sharia-compliant insurance services provider? West Africa Takaful is here to meet your needs. With a core staff of experienced and qualified executives who founded Takaful Gambia, Nigeria, and Zambia, West Africa Takaful is the name you can trust. We cover all non-life products of Takaful Insurance.
Welcome to West Africa Takaful headquarters. We shall be the market leader in the provision of religiously compliant Takaful products and services in the Gambia and across the West Africa sub-region, inshallah.
For more information, visit our office at number 10 Keraba Avenue or at number 10 Nelson Mandela Street, Banjul, or call the following numbers. Email us at info@westafricatakaful.com and visit our website on www.westafricatakaful.com. West Africa Takaful, insuring with transparency and fairness.
Welcome back. Now, Ghana's former president, Jamie John Rawlings, have been laid to rest after funeral service held in Accra. He died at the age of 73. J.J. Rawlings governed the country for 2 decades. CGTN's Nabil Ahmed Rufai reports.
About the health and well-being of others before yourself. And it's such a shame that not every individual got to see or experience that about you.
Jerry John Rawlings took power in coups in 1979 and 1981. He later won democratic elections in 1992 and 1996 and governed Ghana for 20 years. While some see him as a revolutionary leader, to members of the party he founded, the National Democratic Congress, he was an anti-corruption crusader.
As a party, his death is difficult to bear, and a huge vacuum has been created that will be difficult to fill. But we are consoled by the fact that his legacy of establishing the most enduring democracy in the history of the Republic of Ghana bears testimony to the principles and values that pushed him into the political life of Ghana a little over 4 decades ago.
Ghana's current president, Nana Akufo-Addo, paid tribute.
There are many who acknowledge him as the founder of the Fourth Republic, a republic which has proved to be the most enduring and stable in our history, and which has witnessed 8 successive elections, 3 peaceful changes of government from one party to another.
The former president left behind a wife, Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings, and 4 children, 3 daughters and a son. Many people will remember Rawlings as a president who stood with the poor and fought for equity. He implemented economic reforms that many believe improved the lives of ordinary Ghanaians. But his life was not without controversy. He's been accused of human rights abuses during the era of military rule. Some analysts say he was able to build on his reputation before his death.
He became a border statesman, criticizing even his own government and presidents that were elected from his political party. He was the kind of person who said it as it was. He was action-oriented and populist.
Former President Rawlings' funeral procession.
Well, that does it for the news, but before we go, a look at our top stories once again. The President, His Excellency Adam Barrow, has presided over the swearing-in ceremony of senior government officials, grant audience to Chinese experts fighting against COVID-19 in the Gambia. The under-20 national football team has received a check for $2 million presented by President Barrow during a courtesy call at State House ahead of the under-20 African Cup of Nations finals in Mauritania. The Vice President has joined the virtual launching of the International World Health Organization on the Neglected Tropical Diseases Roadmap 2021-2030. Plus, the National Assembly Select Committee on Trade and Regional Integration have been engaging import traders on means of addressing price hiking of basic commodities in the country. In other news, Ghana bade farewell to its longest-serving leader, former President J.J. Rawlings, at a state funeral nearly 3 months after he died on November 12, 2020, at the age of 73. And Uganda set to launch the country's COVID-19 herbal treatment trial courtesy of local Ugandan scientists. Well, that was all from us for now. Do join us again at 2200 hours for more news. Until then, I am Aissatou Keita, and stay tuned to GRTS.